Hey there, everyone. My name is Christian Eschbach, and welcome to another one of my album reviews. Today, we are going to be taking a look at Van Halen's 5150. Okay, so the politics of Van Halen. I don't want to get into a lot of it. I'm just going to be very clear that when it was first the debate between David Lee Roth and Van Halen, I didn't take either of their sides. I took Sammy Hagar's side automatically, and this is before there was a fallout with Sammy Hagar. I love Sammy Hagar. I think he's a fantastic vocalist and musician all in his own right. I like the stuff that he does, always have. So, Van Halen bringing Sammy Hagar in to front the band, I don't have an issue with. 5150, the first album to feature Sammy Hagar. I will say that in the years that came later, I'm still the Sammy supporter, and I also support Michael Anthony, and I am glad that Michael Anthony and Sammy Hagar continued working together in the projects that they've worked in. Michael Anthony is a phenomenal bassist. He does what he does, and he does it well. And, that being said, while we're praising everybody, I don't need to praise Eddie Van Halen, okay? The guy has had more praise than, whatever. Alex Van Halen in this album helps continue to show why he's an underrated drummer too. Throughout this album, the way the guy plays, the shuffle beats he puts on, the spins he'll put on stuff, his fills, just if you listen to his footwork on the bass drums, everything that's going on while he's going in here, he really is an underrated and underappreciated drummer. And I think that's because he's always in the shadow of his brother. I think that has always been the biggest problem with Van Halen, is everybody's always in the shadow of Eddie Van Halen. Not to speak ill of the dead. Much props to a much deserved guitarist, but this album shows that, there are three other guys in the band. Sorry. Okay, I'm done with that. My tirade. Let's get into the tracks. Okay. So this album basically on its own in the modern day could be perceived as a greatest hits album, because half the songs on this album would show up on a greatest hits album. Not that they all have. I think actually, I'm pretty sure they all have. Half of them have. But let's just get into it. So the album opens up with Good Enough, okay? Good Enough, great tune. Opens up the album perfectly. Sammy Hagar's Hello, Baby. I believe it's Sammy Hagar anyways, right at the very beginning. Sounds like Sammy. Followed by Eddie's guitar lick. It's the great way to say, hey, this is the new Van Halen. Check it out, baby. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Get excited. But that's the type of presence that Sammy brings to the band. That's the type of, the gravitas. Everybody can say what they want about David Lee Roth being a wild man, but I will take Sammy Hagar any day as the wild man. Sorry, I will. That dude's just got juice in him, man. The guy is just pure energy. Anyways, Good Enough, great way to open up the album. It's a deep cut. It's a good song that can get played if someone wants to just throw the first track of the album on for radio play that way. It is not a radio song. Outside of this album, I don't think I've ever really heard it. But it is a good song. It's a great album cut. It's a great way to start up an album. That is followed up by Why Can't This Be Love? Now, if you've watched any of my other reviews, generally I don't like lovey, ballady kind of songs. This is different, man. They do it well. I'm a sucker for good piano work, for starters. But it's not... This one doesn't feel mushy mush, It's a softer side to Van Halen, but not soft. I can dig that. That is followed up by Get Up. Get Up is just another good tune. It's a good, solid album cut, It's not a radio song. It will probably never be a radio song. I could be wrong. I'm sure there's a DJ somewhere that loves it and plays it. But, typically it's not a song that's going to jump out at you. It's a good tune on the album, though. Doesn't make me want to skip it. I like to let it play through. Then we get to Dreams. Dreams is something a little different for Van Halen. A little. I mean, compared to the David Lee Roth years, this album is definitely a lot more experimental in certain ways. Dreams is definitely one of those things, you know. It's that whole synthesizer thing that you started hearing with Jump that, you know, David Lee Roth was having some issues with, from what I remember and the stories I've heard and stuff like that. But Dreams is really pretty. It's really nice. I like it. It's a good tune, you know. And then we go to Summer Nights. Summer Nights is a good tune. It really is. It's a fun song, man. You know, and it's a good radio track. Because it is a radio track, it's a radio track. You know, Van Halen made a radio track that specifically was going to become a radio track. You know, you couldn't help it. And it didn't have to even be released as a single because it was that good of a tune. Even, you know, maybe it was released as a single. I don't remember it being released as one. But even now, it's still played on the radio now because it's just one of those songs that says, play me on a summer night, you know? Then we go to Best of Both Worlds. It's, yet again, not technically a big radio hit, not technically a big single, but it is a best of kind of song. It's a greatest hit kind of song. I heard it everywhere before I owned this album, you know. Well, good to be fair, I only bought the album in recent years. But Best of Both Worlds is a great tune, you know. It's got a great hook to that whole, in the chorus, you know, I want the best of both the worlds, honey. Yeah, you know, like, it's great rock. Love Walks In. Ooh. Still another great, soft, but not soft song from the Van Hagar era. You know, and as much as I'm not one for softer stuff, I'm not going to skip it, man, because Sammy sounds great on it. The whole band sounds great on it. You know, just a good tune. The only track on the whole entire album I actually have any type of about is actually the album's title track, 5150. Only song on the album I'm not fond of and I don't really care for. Like, I could skip it, I could leave it, let it play through. You know, if the album's going, the album's going. I'm going to let it play through. But I would, you know, if this was back in the days of mixtapes, I never put on mixtape. It wouldn't be on any type of MP3 playlist for me. It's not a tune that does anything for me, unfortunately. And then the album finishes off with Inside. I like Inside. Ooh, this tune, Inside, is a tune that you can really kind of dig on because they're totally experimenting with it. They're totally playing around in the studio. It's a fun song, but it's a fun song that really has a true musical essence to it, an experimentation to it. Like, you really get the groove on and get the feel and the vibe, and, you know, you just kind of go with what's going on in the song, and you can't help but enjoy it. It's just that groovy of a tune, man. That opening, it hooks you, man. It just gets you going. And then you get all the little overdubs and stuff like that going on. It just really kind of tricks out the song in just the perfect and right way. Like I said, won't say anything bad about it. It's a great tune. You should definitely check it out. Whole Way Around. If you have never picked up Van Halen's 5150, it's a good tune. If you've been trying to figure out where to start with Van Halen, because you've never picked up any Van Halen at all, start with the Greatest Hits album. You know, I hate to say it. They've got two different Greatest Hits packages out there. They're both very good and very valid. Start with one of those. But if you want to look for an album, an actual album, 5150 is a great place to start, you know. It's got a lot of good tunes on it. It's a very good, solid album. It's at least a good place to start with the Van Hagar era. There is I'll say there's two albums from, you know, the Van Roth era that I prefer over this particular album. But this is a fantastic album. I don't think you'd really be disappointed with it if you picked it up, if you like rock and roll. Anyways, that's it. Until next time, thanks for watching. Peace, love you all, and take care. Make sure you hit the subscribe button to get notifications when new videos come out.